Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore. This is Film Threat on a Friday. We've got a lot of films to review and movie news, as usual. We've got Am I Racist? We'll give you our full review of the film. Plus, Speak No Evil, James McAvoy movie. Alan is reviewing The Killer's Game. My Old Ass. We will tell you about My Old Ass. Plus, Kevin Smith's new movie, The 4:30 Movie. Subservience, Wineville, and more. I'm sure most of you have not heard of any of these movies. A lot of movies open in theaters, and we've got them all. So let's go. Alan is waiting in the wings, and we will see. We will see. Let's go.
Because everything they said was weak and stupid.
Where is he? Where is he? Okay. God.
Vice President Harris,
Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. It's another lie.
What is this doing?
Will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer
That's
the
problem.
question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v. Wade,
answer the question. Would you veto?
Alan.
It's just.
Can you believe that?
We're not a political podcast. Although I will say, if she looked more like me, she would be further ahead in the polls.
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run.
I gotta say, you look much prettier than I would if the faces were reversed.
The values I bring to the importance of home ownership, knowing not everybody got handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times, is a value that I bring to my work.
Yeah. I will say I have a plan to save America completely. I'm not going to reveal
about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation
we do have a lot
that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay?
You got my pronoun right.
Okay, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, no. Yeah, now I forgot. I'm just saying I have a plan for everything. And if you need the details of those plans, I'm not going to tell you on them. But just vote.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She went out.
Oh my God.
One of the best.
All right. Well, hey, happy Friday the 13th too, by the way. We have
damn it.
The 13th shirt. Where's yours, Alan?
It's hanging in my closet right now.
Well, we just before we get started, say hi to everybody here. I got to say we just did a relaunch and a refresh of the Film Threat shop for the fall. It is on fire. All new designs, limited collection of this drinker's choice. I really love that one. We've got a Warriors inspired shirt, Krull. Lots of cool designs here. Here's our Halloween designs. I love it. We've got some pint glasses, some drinking glasses there. So a lot of cool stuff on the Film Threat shop. And I should mention, we are doing a sale, a limited sale now. So go to shop.filmthreat.com. There is a sale now, 15% off. It's only this weekend. FT Flash 15. FT Flash 15 is the code. It's good through Monday for anything in the shop. This weekend only. We will remind people later. But yeah, I love when we do sales. I like to buy stuff when there's sales. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, let's see who's here today. All right. Hey, coming hot with a super chat.
Yeah, Sons and Shadows for 1313. Happy Friday the 13th. Let's fucking go.
All right.
Simon B saw Am I Racist yesterday is amazing.
Simon, we will talk about it. Thank you.
Maybe. Okay. Triple Threat 305. Benefit of having the flu and working from home. Getting to watch Film Threat live.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah.
Okay. Darth Yeager, member for 8 months. So excited for today's film and threats.
Yes. Thank you for being a member.
Lee Kindler for Lee Kindler. Happy Friday the 13th film threat. Happy Friday the 13th. Let's see. Scott Christy Jones, member for 6 months. Happy Friday, you lovely lot. The Grand Tour.
Thank you.
Slim Jim 491, member for 9 months. Hail Donald Gore and Kamalin.
Kamalin?
I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat.
See, I would vote for her.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the guy in that situation. I think I don't know. I don't know.
But he would have been sitting in Moscow. Quiet, please.
I mean, hey, we're both Asian, so I mean,
it fits. It does fit.
Coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault.
How dare you say that about me, Alan? How dare you?
Truth hurts.
And Lord Thoth is reminding us.
Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, Instagram. Buy our merch. Shop.filmthreat.com.
And FT Flash is the code. So we've got some news stories coming in hot with some news stories before we get to reviews. And we have a lot of films to review today. We will get through them all. So a couple things I wanted to let people know. As you know, we helped promote the Batman burlesque show 1939. If you remember that, Russell Beatty, we interviewed him on the show. He is this show was shut down by Warner Brothers. So he is having a sale. If you look at this, Alan, this is the book that the show is based on. I have a copy of this book. You do too. Yep. It is on sale. This is the last chance to get this book. It is basically the story of Batman as if Batman existed in Prohibition era America. It's amazing coffee table book. You will never be able to get this book again. And there is a sale. It's the last chance. Offer code FilmThreat for discount. The link is in the description. It is giantpandaking.com. We'll put the exact link in the description for this episode. Russell's a friend of the show. He invites us to the show. He also does The Empire Strips Back. I have this book. I told Gary from Nerdrotic about this book. I've, sung the praises of this book. It is it's amazing. It's like if you were to put a vision of what they could do another series of Batman movies, this is it. Like the crime-ridden 20s. So good, this book. So pick it up, giantpandaking.com, offer code FilmThreat. Russell reached out to me and said, can you let people know? I am letting you know right now. So check that out. You have the book, Alan.
Yes, I do. It makes me think this is what the Amazon Prime series should have been. That cartoon series.
Yeah, it's it's so creative what he puts forth, and it's all inspired by things that were happening at the time, prohibition, these big mafia kingpins. It's rooted in a reality, and it's so well done.
As
He
opposed to the television series.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. I mean, we will review it I think next week. That and Agatha come out next week. We'll talk about those, but I've turned on so many people to this book and pick up a copy because it will never be on sale again after this, meaning he can't sell them anymore. He's dealing with, so he's basically liquidating his inventory. So pick that up. It's really, really an amazing book. So cool. All right. Lots of things to talk about. Let's go to our first news story.
Okay.
The Goonies 2 is not happening.
Yeah.
What is this?
In fact, it's a bigger story than not happening. Let me clear out the variety.
I love how prepared you are.
The true measure of the leader is the leader who actually understands the strength is not in beating people down, it's in lifting people up. I intend to be that president.
Yes, it's about lifting people up rather than criticizing them. I plan to be that person.
From Variety, the Goonies 2 is not happening. Who was anyone even asking for Goonies 2? I mean, we got Beetlejuice, but Goonies 2?
Yes, well, let's read the story. Sad news for fans of the Goonies, as a viral report claiming a sequel to Richard Donner's 1985 classic is in development is not true, or at least not at this time. The Sun claimed earlier this month that Goonies 2 would be filmed next summer with many of the original cast returning, but actors such as Corey Feldman and Martha Plimpton shut down the report. People, there is no Goonies 2 script. There is no one attached, Plimpton wrote on Instagram. Spielberg is not directing. It's not real. What is real is check your registration and vote.
Just ask people who have worked with him. His former chief of staff, a 4-star general, has said he has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. His former national security advisor has said he is dangerous and unfit.
Alan, I can't believe you said that about me. And you are a 4-star general. How is it that these celebrities, they're putting out something innocuous? Hey, just let you know, Goonies 2 isn't happening. By the way, register to vote.
Well, she's right. Register and vote, please. The other thing is it's amazing how stories like this, A, germinate, and and B, spread like wildfire. Someone somewhere thought, hey, Goonies 2 is happening. I'm going to write a news article about it. Maybe I'll post it on my YouTube channel. And then everyone starts reporting on it. And this is what happens when that occurs.
So I don't want to see, I think there's a lot of things I don't want to see sequels to, more than, would it be 40 years later?
Yeah, 85.
Almost, yeah. Almost 40 years later, we're going to do a sequel. I mean, we're going to look back on this era and see these sequels that happened far too long after the fact. And it's going to just point out that Hollywood is creatively bankrupt.
Well, we talked about it on Wednesday. It just seems like Hollywood has decided to take everything that we loved growing up as kids, repurposing it and presenting it to today's kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't care. I don't care if they do this. I just find it funny that he felt the need to put in a voting thing.
Yeah. At least they're not telling you how to vote.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So I'll say it. Right. Please register and vote if you are an American citizen.
All right. Let's go to some more news stories here. We've got a bunch of them. Okay. So let's switch to this next one here.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Is that true? Your family had a restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just say there was no rat problem near my grandparents' restaurant.
Yeah. But are you sure they never, no cats or anything?
Will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer
That's
the
problem.
question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v. Wade,
Answer the question. Would you veto?
This is too early for political talk, Alan.
You talk about extreme. You know
what? Earrings and long hair look good on you. They really do. They really do. All right. We're going to review this movie. Are you going to here? Let's start this over. Here we go. Yeah. We will be reviewing this film later in the show, but this is impressive. Matt Walsh satire, Am I Racist? Satire, is it? It's just a funny documentary.
Yeah.
It's 1,500 plus theaters as Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire bets big for movie dominance. 1,500 screens. I saw it in a theater last night. Let's go through the story. This is from, where is this from?
It's from Variety.
Yeah, that's cool.
Every now and then, a low-budget film emerges from outside the studio system and catches fire with a largely ignored right-leaning demographic, leaving mouths agape in Hollywood's executive suites. The Daily Wire hopes to add to the list of films that includes The Passion of the Christ, I Can Only Imagine, and last year's Sound of Freedom, with the satire Am I Racist, which marks the conservative media company's first wide theatrical release. Starring comedian Matt Walsh, the Borat-style mockumentary takes aim at the DEI movement and is set to open in 1,510 theaters, representing the most ambitious swing for the 9-year-old company founded by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring.
Well, I saw it in a theater yesterday, and it wasn't that. I mean, it was like a 3:45 show, so it was an afternoon show. There were like maybe 10, 20 people in the audience. It was sort of sprinkled people, but the people were howling and laughing in the theater. So I'd love to see it with a packed audience. But wow, that's impressive. 1,500 screens. I mean, the biggest Hollywood releases get between 3,000 and 5,000. So that is, for a small documentary, the budget for this thing was not huge. I mean, it was like, a few million for sure, but not like, it's not 10 million plus.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when you look at the Daily Wire movies, they've been kind of doing the Netflix thing. They've just been hiding it behind their paywall. And I think, did we talk about, I don't know if we talked about them specifically, but, I think a good number of their films could have done well theatrically. Netflix films could do well theatrically. And I'm just glad they're kind of taking the risk here. And it'll be interesting to see the results. Like you said, it's not made for a lot of money, so it doesn't need to have a packed screening in every theater. But I think it's, as the report here says, it's kind of nice to see an alternative, not always having movies being, as they say, left-leaning, but more lean to the right.
well, I mean, look, I just want to be able to go to the AMC Burbank 16 and pick from 16 different movies.
Mhm.
When you go there and like Beetlejuice is on 7 screens, it limits the choices. So I am in favor of this. More of this, please. More choices at theaters. And instead of having to go to some, off the beaten path theater to see an indie. I like that it's playing on AMC screens. And they're not getting like any pushback from it. I think his previous film, What Is a Woman, if that had opened on 1,500 screens, there probably would have been protests.
Or
So-
here, let me pull up the Rotten Tomatoes here.
Why don't we wait till we do the review?
do that?
And we
Okay.
will have a special guest joining us for the Am I Racist review. I
Yeah.
just confirmed.
Well, I mean, the point I was making, and we've made this point before, you know, the what Hollywood is doing right now is they're just not covering it.
Yep.
They just wanted to, you know, to go out quiet, to come in quietly and go out quietly, and I think that's what their hope is. They did it with Sound of Freedom. They did it with Am I a Woman? Or What is a Woman? Oh, dear God. And
Alan, do you drink coffee? Oh, by the way, Chris is cranky. Alan is on edge. The banners. Look, my coffee machine broke this morning. It actually, I turned the power on. I tried to get coffee and it just, and the power goes out. Dead coffee maker. This is what you're getting today, folks.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm getting old, and for me to have the complete movie library in my brain accessible at any second is virtually impossible at this age.
Well, can I answer your question? Am I a woman?
Will she allow abortion in the 8th month?
What?
I'll answer the question for you. Am I a woman? That's what you asked?
Because everything they said was weak and stupid.
You're a woman.
I am a woman.
There you go. Let's go to comments here quick.
I'm just saying, it's probably not there, but you as a woman, oof.
Yeah, let's never show that.
All right, from SDW40, I think you guys just picked your Halloween outfits this year. Gorump, and Kamalin Ing Harris. What? Okay.
Gorp and Kamaling Harris. That's
Kamaling.
exactly what that is. Right here from D Goodhart, who's a member. Thank you.
Yeah, showings for Am I a Racist here in St. Louis area are filling up quickly. I was really surprised and looking forward to seeing it with an audience tomorrow night.
Yeah, I would like to see it with a larger audience. You know,
let's just say in Orange County, this is a movie people will see.
Cool. Let's go to our last news story of the day before we get to film reviews, and we have a lot of films to review. Halle Berry eternally miffed being only Black Best Actress.
Yes, this is from the Daily Wire. Oops, sorry. There we go. Halle Berry says she's eternally miffed about being the only Black woman to win Best Actress Oscar. Halle Berry complained about the fact that no Black woman has won the Academy Award for Best Actress since she did Monsters Ball in 2002. I'm still eternally miffed that no Black woman has come behind me for that Best Actress Oscar. I mean, continually saddened by that year after year, the 58-year-old actress said in an interview with Marie Claire. And it's certainly not because there has been nobody deserving. And then she mentioned Andra Day from The United States versus Billie Holiday, Viola Davis from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, two candidates she thinks deserves the honor.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, remember when they used to complain about Oscars so white and that the nominations were too white and didn't have diversity in it? And you knew the next logical step would be the winners. You know, it's one thing to have people of color nominated, black actresses nominated for Academy Awards. Now the atrocity is they're not winning them either. And, you know, honestly, the best actress, it's not like you can plan for it. But at the same time, you know, you got to be in the movies that the Academy is going to vote for and put on the performance that the Academy will vote for as well. And to say this is now we're just kind of getting ridiculous in the sense of, you know, how many actresses are there in Hollywood doing movies each year? And now we're going to pick one of them to win the award. And to say we need diversity in that process is going to be maddening.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think award shows are all they're fake anyways. It's really just marketing and promotion for the films after the fact. So, I mean, it is a badge of honor, but you know, it's even also a curse in a way for actors to win that award, because then when you're getting cast, it's like, well, this is Oscar winning so-and-so. And I'm going to review a film that she is in later this month that is kind of a low budget horror film. It's very good. You know, it's the tone is interesting. She's very good in it. But, you know, when I think, oh my God, that's right, she won an Oscar. Here she is in this movie that's, you know, a horror film along the lines of A Quiet Place, you know? So I don't know. It's, I think it becomes burdensome to win awards because it sets expectations too high. But I think with regard to all this stuff, it's never enough. It seems to be never enough.
Yeah. And it's somewhat self-serving because the last minority woman of color to win the Academy Award was Michelle Yeoh 2 years ago with last year with Everything Everywhere All at Once. 2 years ago. Sorry. And you know, it's not like she's complaining about minorities and people of color. She's just specifically honing in on Black actors. And again, comes across as a little self-serving.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we'll see. Award season is just getting kicked off. Award season is just so they are going to start promoting to critics certain films and performances. It's starting now. So there you go. Let's go to some quick comments here.
Let's see. Brock Samsonite. Didn't she get a Razzie for Catwoman? LOL.
It's very prestigious, the Razzies.
Jay Padrig, I think Halle Berry is too white to play Storm. Controversial take. Storm is supposed to be as black as Grace Jones. Thomas Pickett, nothing is going to top her work in Swordfish.
Oh, yeah. I remember a certain scene in Swordfish. I mean, it was shocking. Like, shocking and pleasant surprise.
Yeah, but Monsters Ball. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Halle Berry's a great actress. She really is. And I really think she's great as Storm. I'm not gonna, you know, say she looks like the character from the book comic. She's very good.
The right choice of getting rid of her African accent in that first movie.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, someone else could play that role. We'll see what's gonna happen with X-Men going forward with Marvel.
Okay, Raylo Normie, Monsters Ball was played on repeat in high school. Just those 5 minutes, though.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, let's pivot. And we'll start reviewing films. If you could let's set that up now. Let's get going.
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run.
You do look fetching with that hair.
Thank you.
You look very good. Let's kick it off here with a film that I saw that Alan did not, called Speak No Evil. It stars James McAvoy, Mackenzie Davis, Scoop McNairy, Aisling Franciosi. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but 2 couples are on vacation and meet. One couple has a young daughter. It's Ben and Louise. They have a daughter played by Scoop McNairy, Mackenzie Davis. They're a little, you know, they're a little low key, but they witness another couple, Patty and Ciara, played by James McAvoy, Aisling Franciosi, and they are boisterous, having fun and laughing and liking to drink, and just they're living life to the fullest. So the 2 couples have kind of opposite energy. One more low key, conservative, you know, more, you know, just have a good time, whatever. The other couple just like, yeah, let's party. Well, their energy kind of matches and they have a good time on this retreat. And so James McAvoy's character says, hey, if you ever want to visit, come to the farmhouse, visit us. We'll have a good time. You're welcome to stay out in the countryside. So on a whim, they decide to go visit. The 2 couples decide to spend time together at the farmhouse. So things start to get a little strange. Boundaries are crossed, things are a little weird, but nothing that crosses the line too far. But it escalates and escalates. And I'll tell you, the big appeal of this movie is James McAvoy's performance as Patty. He is unhinged. He looks jacked too in this film. I mean, he is unlike any kind of character he's played in the past. And the slow burn escalation of, Mackenzie Davis and Scoop McNairy characters, they're like, oh, well, that was weird, but no big deal. That was weird, but no big deal. And then continues to get more and more unhinged and strange. They have James McAvoy's character has a young son named Ant, played by Dan Ho, who can't speak. He's got a problem with his tongue, and they sort of blame it on some genetic defect, but he might have had his tongue cut out. And as this, I'm being very coy about specifics because you don't want spoilers for this thing. Things take a turn in the middle of the film where it's insane. This reminds me of other thrillers like Straw Dogs. And this movie is a remake of a Danish film from like 2 years ago, which I have not seen, Speak No Evil, but I believe it's on Hulu. That's the Danish version. But the audience I saw this with was white knuckle, edge of your seat thriller, devolving into horror by the end. And you just can't. Again, I'm telling you almost nothing. If you've seen the trailer, don't see any more. If you've seen the trailer, and the great thing is, I've seen that trailer so many times. Now you will never have to see it again in front of a movie. I really love this film. It's got 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's just a really satisfying thriller. The dynamic that I think really works in this is Scoot McNairy's character, Ben. He's a weak man. And Mackenzie Davis as Louise, she's not a girl boss or anything, but she calls her husband out on saying, you're weak. You're weak. What are you doing? You got to step up. This is our family. You have to protect our family. And so he's kind of cucked by her in a sense, but that dynamic works. It does really explore this when you have a weak man in the family and he's not there when needed. It causes problems. So great thriller. I think you would like it, Alan, as well. It's not a horror film per se, but it's an
intense thriller. That's what I'm getting.
Very intense thriller. Very intense. And the standout for this is James McAvoy. My God, he's so good in this. So, and God, the audience was just like, you could feel the tension. It's also not over 2 hours. It's like hour 40 or something. So tight, great suspense thriller. You will have a really good time and awesome. So I enjoyed it and I recommend it. 7.5 or 8 out of 10 for me. So yeah,
not your favorite. Not your favorite of the year.
Not favorite of the year, just a solid look. This is it's a remake of a Danish film, but in theaters, it's not like part of a franchise. It's not a sequel. It's just a solid, good movie, not a huge budget. It's in the spirit of like Straw Dogs, a thriller out in the English countryside. Things go awry, and certain reveals are just so you're like, oh my God. You're just saying, what's coming. It's like the suspense is like winding up to get to this place, and great payoffs too. So I recommend it. Really good time at the movies.
I will say the trailers are effective to the point where I do not want to see this movie.
No, you would like it a lot.
Would I? All right.
Yes. You would like it a lot. So I recommend it.
Man, those trailers are so good.
Yeah, really good. So go see it. Let's see if we have some comments here. We're doing abbreviated comments because you have so many films to see. So yeah, here we go.
All right, from Go Party Time. Looking forward to this one. James McAvoy looks crazy in it.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good.
There's
So
that
good.
switch he has. That yeah. Hey, it's me in HD. Did they wimp out on the ending from the original?
I have not seen the original, but
does it stick the landing? I guess that's the question.
I don't want to give it away.
I'm just saying, does it stick the landing?
It sticks the landing. It's gruesome.
Okay. Yeah, you're selling this one for me. Jackson loves Nintendo for $4.99. Thank you. I'm part of the accursed Gen Z Trump 2024 US fire, and I want to validate that most modern movies suck. Shout out to Silence by Scorsese, my favorite film.
Nice. Thank you for that.
Yep.
That's very
We
generous.
are not a political live stream. Chelsea M, from the trailer, this movie looks freaking unsettling because I could actually see this happening.
Yeah, that's what's great about a film like this. It's not horror. Like, this could happen. And they get it. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, if they can ground it and make it feel real, that's where the real terror comes in.
Yeah.
Patrick Lemire, I am literally having new neighbors over for dinner this weekend. I hope they don't kill us. Torviticus, watch the Danish version. It's amazing.
Yeah. I would like to. I would like to for sure. So, okay, let's review another film here. We will pivot to our next movie. We're going in order. No, we're gonna go.
Yeah, just put the banner and I'll get the thing up.
Yes, I'm gonna.
I know what movie we're talking about.
No, wait a sec.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Don't lie.
She went out.
Oh God. Oh God.
We are not a political live stream.
Alan, tell me about My Old Ass.
Well, it's saggy and wrinkly. But about the movie My Old Ass, see, this is what happens when I don't know what movie you're going to next.
I'm going in order from this.
Okay, here we go. So it's the story of a young woman, a Gen Z type teen, Elliot, played by Maisie Stella. She's the film is basically the last summer. She is moving away to the University of Toronto, leaving her family farm forever. She is very happy about that. She's about ready to cast off her family and start a brand new life. One night, the family decides that they're going to throw her a going away party, of which, being the Gen Z teen that she is, ditches to hang out with her friends for overnight camping. And during this overnight camping trip, Maisie takes a giant handful of shrooms. And while her friends are tripping out, she feels nothing until all of a sudden, Maisie's future self appears next to her, played by Aubrey Plaza. It is 39-year-old Elliot. Maisie is the actress. And they begin kind of hitting it off, kind of like they go through the typical, well, how do I know you're a future me? And then it's like, future Elliot, kind of gives her advice about life without revealing what her life will become. And there are two pieces of advice that future Elliot tells her. And it's one, spend more time with your family. And the second one is stay away from a guy named Chad. And then the next morning, she's out of the haze. Future Elliot actually enters her phone number in young Elliot's cell phone, and they're able to talk to each other throughout the rest of the film. But what is amazing about this film is there's a sci-fi element to it, but it's really a coming-of-age story. It's probably one that when you first watch it will turn you off. I'll say this: the first 20 minutes of this film is annoying as hell, because it's basically the story of a Gen Z teen who hates her family, and you get it perfectly. And I'm an old man, and I barely tolerate Gen Z kids, especially my own. But what happens is the piece of advice of get to know your family. It becomes this story of her basically regretting the way she has treated her family over the last few years. And then this guy, Chad, this story takes a very interesting turn because things happen. I think you can guess what happens in a coming of age story. And by the end, so once we got past the annoying part, once Aubrey Plaza shows up, this movie really starts to take off. I was engaged from that moment on, engaged with this story, with this character of Elliot, and a change in her life that she goes through that I didn't expect would happen, especially in these times, in these modern times. And then the ending itself just blew me away. There's a twist. There's a twist in the ending that I will not say, that kind of cinched this movie in so far as one of my favorite movies of the year. So I highly recommend My Old Ass, and I also recommend this movie. And I will say there are elements of this film that will turn you off because it may appear woke, but I think if anything comes out of this movie, if this movie gets any kind of traction, it's going to get criticized for potentially being anti woke or I'll just say it, anti-LGBT.
I wouldn't say it's that, but I'll say this: I really love this film.
Yeah,
I mean, it so surprised me, and that ending, I'm getting choked up at the end.
Yeah,
I mean, the message of this film is just so, it creeps up on you, I guess is the best way to put it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the ending you don't see coming.
It's also about treasuring moments. I mean, I like this kind of film, this kind of they introduce one fantasy element. She does a ton of drugs, and suddenly she sees her older self can talk to her whenever she does these drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a connection, and it's so sweet. It's like any movie that has a fantasy element, like Groundhog's Day. Mm-hmm. They don't explain why it is, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. You just buy it,
and they loosely hold on to some form of rules, but you'll forget.
Right. They make up the rule. It's like, believe it, it's a movie. Here's the rule, whatever. But Aubrey Plaza, I've always loved as an actress. Always loved her from Parks and Rec. Whenever she's in films, really love it. Even these conversations between the two of them, the older, younger, and the woman, the who plays Elliot, this young actress, she's amazing. Great. She reminds me of. She actually, you know what? She reminds me of my high school girlfriend. Kind of a tomboy, can hang with the boys. She's like fun, but she's also can be a girl. And she knows a lot of stuff, growing up on a farm. And God, it's so sweet. Yeah,
I need to talk about her performance because this is probably one of the most grounded performances I've seen in terms of, I really believe she's not acting in this movie.
Yeah.
And the conversation between her and Aubrey Plaza in the beginning, where they kind of suss out, is this real? It is one of the funniest conversations I've heard in a while in movies. And again, it just feels authentic. It feels like if this situation were to actually happen, this is kind of how it would play out without going super freaky into sci-fi anxiety. It's just matter of fact. Are you? Oh, okay. And then they had this conversation that just sets the tone for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the kind of movie we kind of need right now. And with regard, like in terms of, it's just a solid coming of age that really tugs at your heartstrings at the end. I mean, it's very sweet and sentimental. And you mentioned the wokeness. I actually think that's just kids today. You know, they talk about these things. She's ribbing her brother, and her brother complains, "You gave me a birthday card that said something about a cis white male." It's like, that's how they talk, but it wasn't preachy ever.
Yeah.
It wasn't preachy. It was very real. The kids were very real. She has a younger brother and kind of a brother. I don't know if he's older or around her same age, but she has two brothers, mom and a dad. And she has issues with all of them, but she begins to stop and smell the roses. It's one of those movies that makes you appreciate life, appreciate family, and then have this journey through her older self through and then meets a boy. It's all these things, and I just was, you're right, the beginning is kind of rocky, and then Aubrey Plaza shows up and the film takes a turn, and it's from there, it's so lovable. It's lovable. It's just sweet. And you walk out just, I had such an appreciation for life. You're like, wow, I remember summers like that. Where it felt like it would never end, but it ends. Summer ends. And it felt like one of those endless summers. It's always going to be like this. And she comes back to remind her, hey, appreciate what you have now. You're not always going to have it. I mean, it's a simple message, but it's not preachy in the least. Don't let the Sundance banner turn you off.
It does preach, but it preaches the right message.
It preaches the simple message you can get behind. Stop, smell the roses. Appreciate and love your family while you have them, because you won't always have them.
Yeah.
You will not always have the members in your family. And it's, God, that ending just really got me.
Yeah.
It really did. You, I mean, that ending when you realize.
Yeah. You realize what this movie is really about. And then it just hits you. It just hits you over the head. And it's like, yes, this is something you wish people would hear today. Because this message was normal, 40 years ago. This is a message that's not being told today. This idea of the importance of your family and the regret you'll feel if you don't connect with them. If you don't settle the score, basically, by the time you leave, this is the movie. I'm taking my daughter to see this movie. I just told her to go. I have a movie I'm going to show you. I don't care if you don't want to see it or not. We're seeing this movie, and this is the one. Well,
you're a good dad for doing that, but I cannot recommend enough My Old Ass. It's and I will say it's something we need. It's just a feel-good movie. I'm tired of dark and just nihilistic films. Yeah, preachy, dark. Nihilism, the world's gonna end, you've got no future. This is so sweet, and it's a message for the present. It's set present day, and Aubrey Plaza's character is like, more than 20 years in the future.
Yeah, so, she's 39.
Yeah, because she's 39 years old. So 20 years in the future, 21 years in the future, and it's just such a good, sweet, feel-good message. We need more films like this. So cannot recommend My Old Ass enough. Alan?
Yeah, absolutely. 8.5 for me. It's go see the movie. Again, there are a few things you're going to have to overcome a bit if you're on the conservative side, but definitely worth it in the end. You mentioned the cis white male thing. She lashes out, calls her brother cis white male, but he's actually a good kid. And she ultimately realizes that, cis white people are not bad.
But I think that it's not a message. It's just, that's how kids today talk.
Exactly. It's a reflection of what kids are today. Cause believe me, they say these things.
Yeah, they have these conversations. They talk about this. This movie is the way to handle it. It's the way to handle it. And even they don't take it that seriously. They goof about it.
Yeah, like eye roll, and there she goes again.
Yeah, eye roll, like, oh God, give me it's so well done. So strong recommendation from both of us.
Yep.
Let's go to comments here.
Okay, thoughts on fitness with Nigel. Remember, for 21 months, please keep the stream brilliant. No acolyte.
You brought it up.
Just brought it up.
Thanks.
J Nemo for 199. Boom roasted. Patrick Lemire. Aubrey Plaza had a stroke when she was young and had to learn to talk again. She was Gore before Gore.
Yeah, I knew that about Aubrey Plaza. It like rewired her brain. She was young, had a stroke, and then recovered. I heard a podcast, Mark Maron. He did the Mark Maron podcast, talks about her health recovery, and it was just weird and she recovered fully, and it kind of changed her in a good way.
Yeah.
So
she was on Stern promoting this movie, and talked about the same thing. Like, she would hold a flower in her hand but couldn't say the word flower, but she's thinking in her mind, but she couldn't make the words come out.
Yeah, she's a really interesting comedian and actress, and I'll see anything she's in.
Yeah. Chelsea M. Sounds like it was made by an annoying Gen Z person.
It's not. It's not really. Chelsea, see it. Your mind will be changed. This is the kind of movie we need from women directors. This like insights on life and something everyone can relate to, and the male characters are not diminished or belittled. I mean, for joking reasons, but it works. Trust me, it works.
I'll say this reminds me, we talked a while ago about the idea that I think most people agree with each other 70% of the time, and this movie kind of hits that 70%. That we can come at this movie from different directions and different angles, but find commonality in that ending and in that message. And I think that's, I may not, I'm just going to assume I don't agree with her politically, but she wrote a very good movie. And, you could tell there are things I'm kind of uncomfortable with, but the ending, the message, and the way we got there was just perfect.
It sticks the landing and it sticks with you. Couple more comments.
Okay, Raylo Normie, I live with teenage girls. I don't need to watch this. I live this. I'm just saying there's a message that maybe your teenage girls would get.
Raylo Normie, take your kids. Take your kids to
if they're older teenage girls, not if they're younger teenage girls.
Well, maybe. I mean, like,
I would
your
older.
kids. It's very it's not R-rated.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Spidey Sensei 72. Put your phone down, smell the roses, and do shrooms. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's the message.
All right. It's time to pivot. We have a special guest to help us with this next review. So,
Is he there? Yeah.
And they come up with things like what she just said.
I don't get that.
Why do we have
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I like your hair. I like your hair.
Thank you. I wish my hair was as full as that.
Let's talk about Matt Walsh's Am I Racist? And to join us and help us with the review is Verbal Riot.
Yeah, I don't have it set up for 3 people. I'll get this. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Do we even need the poster?
Dante, if you could adjust your volume, your gain is very high. It's very high.
You want to just get rid of the poster, or do you want it up?
Let's talk about just leave it.
Okay.
Hey, let's talk about producing the show while the show is on.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Is
we
this better?
can just do the show.
Is this better?
That is just a little lower. It's although you're louder than everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about the show instead of producing the show.
Okay, how about now?
Better.
Okay.
That's good. All right. Let's talk about this.
We had a late night last night, man.
Glenn, this is where you clip all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Clip all that stuff
action.
out. And let's talk about Matt Walsh's Am I Racist? We reviewed What is a Woman a year or so ago. It got very well reviewed on both FilmThreat and on our YouTube channel. And to join us,
was great, by the way. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, thanks for your comments. We were one of the few outlets to review that film. I think there were only 5. And we may end up being one of the few outlets to talk about Am I Racist? So to help us with the review is our friend Dante James from Verbal Riot Show. Just got monetized on YouTube, so we're happy to have him here with us. You and I, Dante, saw the film last night at a screening. It was an afternoon. There were like maybe 10 or 20 people there. Wasn't packed, but first impressions from both of you, Alan and Verbal, about the movie. What did you think?
Yeah, man. Look, I take Matt Walsh with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? I follow him on X, and some of the things he says I agree with. Some of the things I don't. So I'm pretty unbiased when it comes to this guy. I think he's right half of the time. But when it comes to his filmmaking, man, I got to give the guy credit. He's not bad, man. What Is a Woman was really good. I reviewed that movie. I gave it a good review. And I think this movie, Am I Racist, is 100 times better than What Is a Woman. I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed through the whole film, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen a film this year where I've laughed through the whole film. I thought it was hilarious. I thought he nailed it. Obviously, some things are pretty tongue-in-cheek, but it was the way he trolled these people was on a level of Borat. It was like Sacha Baron Cohen, the way he was trolling these people, man. And I feel like, look, man, if a very diverse audience saw this movie together, they would laugh together. They would enjoy this movie together. I don't think there would be people sitting there in a huff and a puff, angry that he dared to tackle this topic. I think everyone would just enjoy themselves and laugh at it because he points out how ridiculous all of this is. And I think he conveys that pretty well in the film, especially the Jesse Smollett thing, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Well, let's get into and also if you could adjust you got to turn your volume down. The gain is what you've got. The gain has got to go down. So yeah, I mean, it's basically Matt Walsh thinking, hey, I never thought about racism in the 90s. I mean, notice someone's ethnicity, but I didn't think about it. You meet people, you treat people as people. So he goes on a journey. The first thing we see, he does a DEI training where he pretends to be Steve to just see what these trainings are like. Then he goes and he gets DEI certified. And then he starts his own DEI training seminar called Do the Work Workshop. That is hilarious. And it's an actual website. I'll bring it up. It's fun. It's Do the Work Workshop is like a real thing that he did. And he mocks how people are basically capitalizing and grifting off of racism, right? He even interviews a guy who wrote a book about like that this whole thing is like a myth. There's not rampant hate crimes across America. They just get reported way, way more. And so it's kind of a myth. So and he has to go undercover. He puts on a man bun and like to kind of dress like someone who looks like they're woke. He like wears shoes with no socks, does everything he can to like disguise himself. It's a stupid disguise. And the situations he puts himself in are so funny. One of the two big moments, he does the race to dinner. They have white women get together, and these two women run this thing. They're women of color, a black woman, an Indian woman, and they talk about, they basically tell them they're all racist and they're all POSs, right? And basically you're berated for being racist just because you're white. And Matt Walsh basically is a waiter during this and insinuates himself in the situation. We were dying. It's so funny. That, and he interviews Robin DiAngelo, who wrote the book White Fragility. And here's the thing. He doesn't trick anybody at all. What he does is he pays them to get Robin DiAngelo to be in the movie. He paid her $15,000. to be in the film. And that moment, oh my God, we were dying. I mean, there's so many great moments. It's not movies like hour 40 minutes doesn't overstay its welcome. However, there is a post-credit scene that is so good after the credits, a post-credit scene that is amazing. So, strong recommend, 9 out of 10 for me. A great doc that doesn't force any ideology on you, just says, hey, let's question this.
Mhm.
And as a Gen X, I question everything. So, Alan, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it there. He's not preaching, he's questioning. He's asking questions to these people in a way that calls out their hypocrisy, calls out the way that they speak out of one side of their mouth and then the other. I mentioned it on Wednesday, but the whole Moana thing where the expert says how she, how girls today are more drawn to the white Disney princesses, and Matt says that his daughter actually likes Moana and then wants to dress up as her for Halloween, and then the expert says, oh, you can't do that because that's cultural appropriation. I mean, this happens throughout the entire movie where he's just calling out one hypocrisy after the other. And he's also calling out the grift. There's one expert who is kind of on the anti-DEI side. You mentioned him, where he talks about the myth of hate crimes.
The book is Hate Crime Hoax.
Yeah, and he has one quote in here that I'm going to loosely quote. He basically says, the demand for racism far exceeds the supply of racism. Meaning that, growing up, I'll be absolutely honest, I never thought about racism throughout my life until I got to college, when I was being taught about racism and the things I don't see. And this, there was to me, what this movie just shows is that there's this simple theology of life that I have, which is love your neighbor as yourself. But now when we insert racism to that, we're inserting things. It's like, yeah, you could love your black neighbor as yourself, but the reality is you have all these microaggressions, you have this systemic racism, you have all these things to complicate it. There's a moment where Matt goes to the South and basically talks to people, and they're just a matter of fact. I like people for who they are, not their skin color. To me, what's important is how I'm treated by a person, how I treat them. We've lost the simplicity of life, and we've overcomplicated with things like microaggressions and systemic racism and the patriarchy and all that stuff. And that's what this movie does. It just calls it out, points it out, and gives it to you in a way that finally someone is telling you what you already have believed for so long and how crazy the world has become. And that's why you should see this movie.
Yeah, and it's there's a whole conversation and a role play with Robin DiAngelo where we talk about smiling in a hallway.
Yeah.
Like, you smile too much, you're kind of mocking me, or you're like, you didn't smile, like, why did you not smile?
Yeah, you're being dismissive at that point.
Like, I'm gonna go to human resources. It was so good. Here, the Do the Work workshop actually is here. It is. It actually exists. This is it. It's I don't know if you can see it there. They created it. I mean, it's a website now to like promote the movie. But do you over smile? Don't over smile. Hello, colonizer. You are racist. But how racist are you? On a scale of, look at the scale here. Oh my God. This is so funny.
What's really funny is the people that he basically trolled in the show, they all deleted their Twitter accounts, their ex accounts.
Right. Yeah. Including Robin DiAngelo. She's horrified
yeah.
She was in it. Racist relics of colonialism and you. It's got coffee, a picnic basket, alarm clock, a curling iron, peanut butter, a degree. Oh my God. It's just eggs. Like, these are things considered like racist relics of colonialism,
Well, that's what I
Candy.
mean. He basically points out just how absurd all of this is and how ridiculous this is. If you really just sit back and think about it, like when he redid the Jussie Smollett thing, that was beautiful. That was classic, man.
There's a moment where in Jussie Smollett, so they talk about a very well-known case, right? He was assaulted allegedly in Chicago when he was out for a Subway sandwich late at night. And you hear Jussie's words describing the crime and exactly what happened in detail. And then Matt Walsh reenacts it like it happened. And it's exactly what Jussie said. And when he's reenacting it, you realize how ridiculous it is. It's so ridiculous.
Well,
And
you realize that could have never really happened.
Yeah.
Right. And you even said, like, it was you and Derek Anderson was also at the screening we were at. And it was like, you said like black people knew that was bullshit when they heard it.
Yeah, most black people knew that he was bullshitting, but you know, white people ate it up. White liberals ate that up. You saw Ellen Page on talk shows,
Right,
talking
right.
about what a tragedy it was that, you know, this black gay man was beaten by MAGA thugs.
Hey, Empire.
Hey,
Who would
Empire.
say that. This is MAGA country. I mean, it sounds ridiculous on its face. You know, it's nuts. So go to dotheworkworkshop.com to look at that. That was so hilarious. But this is the kind of doc we need. I mean, I love pop culture docs and docs that are funny, like Morgan Spurlock, R.I.P. Morgan Spurlock, taking serious issue and making light of it. The movies that Michael Moore used to make, you know.
I mean, but let's be honest here. I mean, at the end of the day, no one's really going to learn from this for the most part. You know, people who are against Matt Walsh, who are against, you know, people like us, basically, they're going to continue to be woke. They're going to continue to smell their own farts. They're going to continue to believe that they're on the right side of history and that Matt Walsh is making fun of marginalized people. They're going to continue to believe that. It's not really going to move the needle. But what I will say is, if you want to be entertained, if you want to laugh and have a good time at the theater, go watch Am I Racist? Because it's funny.
I'll tell you the value. I'll tell you the value of this movie. Because watching it, it just made me constantly think to myself, I'm not crazy. I'm not the crazy one.
Yeah.
This what he's pointing out is exactly what I felt like was wrong with this whole anti-racist movement, and he calls it out.
And I just want to say, when I was telling Dante to lower the gain and volume on his, it was a message from Glenn, our producer. I wasn't trying to silence Dante's voice.
Oh no, I get that.
I just want to point that out.
Yeah, I
So-
think
And I think you removed as much whiteness from that as you could. And I hear you and I appreciate that.
I can't believe how much laughter there was in the theater. The fact that we can like laugh about it, you know, and like just make light. It was, oh my God.
But you know what's funny is me and Derek were talking when you went to the bathroom, Chris, about how, and I think this gets overlooked a lot, man, about how big of an industry racism is.
Yeah.
Racism is an industry, man. There are people eating off of racism right now.
Remember
Right?
that girl who called out the guy in the library about having a Chick-fil-A in his, you know, the racist symbol of Chick-fil-A, and I think she got $2,000 for doing this documentary.
Yeah, I mean, racism is big money, and the more you can keep it going, the more money you're going to make. Me and Derek were like, man, we feel like chumps. You know, we're sitting here trying to make an honest living when we could be race hustling, making big money.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Let's put it this way: some people are getting their reparations, and other people are not. So, Dante,
Yes.
Dante, if you want your piece of the pie, you better get in the game.
No, really, I feel like a chump, man, trying to do this the honest way. Like, I feel like I should be out there hustling and, you know, calling racism on everything and getting my DEI certificate. I should be doing all that.
Well, we will discuss it further with the group on Versus on Monday. But Dante,
See the movie, and we'll spoil it on Monday.
Yeah, we'll do more on Monday. But Dante, you are going to do your own review on your channel.
Yes,
Verbal
I am.
Riot Show. Okay.
A very thorough review.
There will be a link to Dante's channel or check it out, Verbal Riot Show. But I think we all three, this is a very diverse review. I just want to point out the review is diverse. And I give it a 9 out of 10. What about you guys?
Let's just say that I gave it 8.5. But
Okay.
in terms of diversity, yes, the skin color is diverse. I'm not sure
Like
about
it matters
about this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I give it an 8, a solid 8, though, a very solid 8. And I just think it's a funny, good popcorn movie. But you will learn a little something. But for the most part, you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh your ass off through the whole film.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he tackles next. I mean, he's taking like these issues that are like, this is crazy, right? I'm not crazy for thinking this. I'm glad you pointed that out, Alan. But yeah.
But you know what? I even love the costume, right? The woke liberal costume, the man bun and the skinny jeans.
Yeah. Maybe that I'll go as Matt Walsh for Halloween. We're in the Halloween season. Maybe I'll be Matt Walsh for Halloween.
Okay, so just so you know, on Rotten Tomatoes, am I racist? 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wait, how many reviews?
How many reviews?
With 4. They finally added my review, so now it's at 4.
But it's 100%. Okay.
Yeah, and
for
it's
now.
99% on the audience score. So if they can get some more critics to like it, it might be certified hot.
Well, there you go.
Well.
Okay, so across the board, positive reviews from us. So check it out while it's in theaters in wide release. That's amazing.
Take a date.
Yeah, you'll laugh.
Take the whole family.
I should take my daughter to see this as well.
We'll laugh at racism together.
Let's go to comments here, Alan, if you wouldn't. Dante, if you want to stick around for the comments.
Yeah.
Curtis D of Montana, member for 1 month. Hey, Chris and Alan, hope your day is great. The Trump Kamala faces are disturbing, pure nightmare fuel.
I don't know.
Coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault.
How dare you say that about me?
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
I feel like if I looked like her, I could become president of the.
Well, you guys are both Asian.
Yes. All right, Frank Ridge. Remember for 1 month. Hail, Chris and Alan. We have Megalopolis in 2 weeks. Flop or not?
We do. I can't wait. I am going to an early screening. Already got my tickets. Can't wait.
And I will agree. It will either be a flop or it will be great. There'll be no in between. Bill S. Preston Esquire. I'm really glad we got the real person of color to help review this film rather than white adjacent Alan. What?
Alan catching strays.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. I want to be white. That's been my goal all my life. All right, Francisco Sanchez Jr. for 5. 2 Aubrey Plaza movies I really like: Ingrid Goes West and Black Bear. I will probably pass on My Old Ass, but Aubrey is something else.
Don't pass. You'll really enjoy it. And Ingrid Goes West is awesome. Love that film.
Jim T. I'm waiting for the Matt Walsh trilogy. I know. What does he go after next? Patrick Lemire. Robin DiAngelo shut down her ex account out of embarrassment.
She got paid $15,000.
Yeah.
And that scene, the way it ends, oh my God.
Oh yeah. That was one of those moments of, oh my God, is this really happening?
Well, that's why she shut down her ex account, man, because of that.
Oh. Yeah. Well, she got 15,000. So BMO Better. Isn't asking questions too problematic?
That is my default setting. I question everything.
Davina Duckworth, macro payments for microaggressions.
Thank you, Davina.
Yeah. Bill W. Gain shaming equals microaggression. For Moonlight Productions. I can see the headline now. Film Threats Chris Gore silences black microphone.
Write that story.
Gatekeeper, member for 2 months. I love you guys, just not as much as Gary.
Well, you are welcome here. You're welcome here, Gatekeeper. Appreciate you. So Well, there we go. Dante
Gary loves us a lot. So
wait, okay. So Dante and I'll tell you this. We went to this party last night that was wild. We saw Am I Racist? Went to the 4:30 movie, Kevin Smith's film. We'll talk later.
Okay.
Then we went to this party for the info list. It was wild.
It was fun.
What happened? I left early because I got the show. What happened to you?
Oh, me and Alice just stayed for like a little while longer. Talked to a bunch of people. Spoke to this black. I guess he's a showrunner, but I guess he has a show he's pitching to NBC. It's basically the biracial Friends. So so we sat and talked. I talked to the actresses that were involved with it, and they're trying to get it picked up. And we had a good time. We met a lot of people that night, and got home fairly reasonable, 12 o'clock.
Well, the best way to have a successful show is just take a show that was successful and just race swap. That's the way to.
Well, that's basically what this show is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to his credit, I told him, hey man, they'll probably pick it up because now's the time, right?
Yeah.
Now's the time.
Like it's a format. I don't know. They should just look. Maybe they'll reboot certain shows like a modern Different Strokes. They already did.
Wait, with a black family who adopts white children.
Yeah,
no, an Asian family who adopts black children.
Nah, adopting black kids is 80s, man. You got to adopt white kids now.
I think what they need is a setting on your entertainment box where you can just choose the race of who you want to be in the film.
We have to do a percentage of.
Netflix already has that. They have a black category.
Jeez, what was that? They need like a thing where you can watch Star Wars, but what gender and race do you want Han and Leia to be?
That's the greatness of AI.
AI can do it.
I know.
AI can, change all of that, and you can see like.
Happy birthday, Your Highness.
Yes, it is my birthday.
Oh
What?
no!
Did I
Oh no!
just
No.
see?
Oh, you guys are going to get demonetized for that.
Do not comment that you just witnessed that at all.
Demonetized.
Do not come.
But no, can you imagine? I'm going to watch Star Wars and I want Han to be this, Han to be a girl, Luke to be gay, like just whatever.
Yeah, and finally, Darth Vader will be white.
Yes.
But no,
Yes.
man, the party was really cool. We got, like I said, we got out there early because, like Denzel Washington said, man, you don't want to stay at those parties too late. You know what I mean? You want to get out right before the witching hour. So, we took off and just went to Fat Sal's after for a sub and then went home.
Nice. All right. Well, Dante, thank you, my friend. I don't know. I don't know if we're hanging out this weekend, but I don't know. I'll hit you up.
Hit me up.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
guys.
Take care.
See you, Dante.
Subscribe to Verbal Riot Show. Awesome channel. And check out Dante's review of Am I Racist? All right.
And he just got monetized. So sit through those commercials.
Yes.
You talk about extreme.
It's not extreme to sit through the commercials. Not. All right. Some more films to review. Alan, you saw a few films that I did not.
Yes. Let's get it started. There we go.
Alan, I did not see this film. You did. Tell me about The Killer's Game.
Okay, well, let me put it this way. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the first half of this movie. Dave Bautista, he's the star of this one. He is the greatest assassin, and he works for Ben Kingsley's character. I think it's Devi or something like that. The show opens with his most recent contract. He has to go kill this kind of Russian diplomat at a ballet. While this is going on, Joe goes in, does what he does, but in the middle of or just after he kills the target, he gets a sharp headache, and the ears are ringing in his voice, in his head, debilitating in some way. But then it goes away, and he continues on. Meets Sofia Botella's character, who is the lead dancer, and the two kind of hit it off. They kind of have a romance. And then when Joe goes to the doctor, says, you might need to retire because it seems like you're suffering from extreme CTE. And so Joe starts making plans to retire. He falls madly in love with Sophia's character, Maisie. And then all of a sudden he gets a call from his doctor, says he has a disease in his head, a degenerative disease that's going to kill him over the next 6 months. And so rather than saddle Maisie up with a decrepit old man, and rather than living the rest of his life as a cripple, sorry for the word, but I'm using it, he decides that he wants to go out. And when his friend refuses to put a contract out on him, on Joe, he goes to his rival, played by Pom Klementieff, who he says, look, at midnight, put a contract out, $2 million, and have your people kill me. And she agrees to it. And about a minute before midnight, he gets a call from his doctor saying that, oh, no, we mixed up your test results. You're going to be fine. You're going to live a very long life. And now the rest of the movie is about trying to get out of this contract because his rival, played by Pom, he killed her father, and now she wants revenge, and she can finally do it the right way. There's a little bit of John Wick here where, of course, assassins have an honor code, and the reason Joe killed her father was because he broke the honor code, and that's why he's untouchable and why no other assassin can kill him, because he's clean. And he's one of those rare assassins who could have walked away from the Assassin's game free and clear, but then got himself in this mess. So there are two things. One is the first half of this movie. Again, you've seen it in the trailer. And
Right.
so you're going 30 minutes to 40 minutes knowing exactly how this whole movie is set up. And, I guess the love story between Dave Bautista and Sofia Boutella is okay. Seen it before. But she puts the sexy on, and it gets hot and heavy at one point. But again, this movie doesn't take off until midnight, when all the assassins come out. And to me, the second half of this movie is a lot of fun. This is one of those popcorn action movies. The horror, the gore in this is on the level of Kingsman, where a lot of CG blood. A lot of the kills, the fighting, very unique. There's an anime style fight that happens. If you're familiar with WWE, Drew McIntyre is in the movie. There's a wrestling element to one of the fights. The rest of the movie basically becomes a gauntlet where one group of killers tries to come and take him out, and then he dispatches them until he gets to the big boss. Terry Crews is in it. He kind of is the Shaft of the movie. I like I said, the movie really picked up for me when the action started. The action is nonstop. A lot of blood, a lot of gore, a lot of interesting kills, a lot of weapons you haven't seen used in a long time. People, it gets gruesome at times, but very cartoon gruesome. So, love story, you've seen it, nothing to write home about. If you just want an action film, this is definitely a good one to go to if you're looking for something to watch in the theaters this weekend. I gave it a 7 out of 10, purely on action. And I don't know that this will turn Dave Bautista into an action star, but it's a good vehicle for him.
Well, I'll just say I just corrected. There was a extra space after the word game. I corrected it just now, just for accuracy's sake.
Well,
This looks like it looks like a streaming movie, and it's sort of John Wick. But if I want to watch John Wick, a lot of people are saying a John Wick movie. It's kind of like John Wick. I don't want something kind of like John Wick. If I want John Wick, I'll watch John Wick.
Yeah.
So at the same, this you're not selling me on this.
Well, I mean, look, this is low budget John Wick. I mean, ironically, this is from Lionsgate, who produced John Wick.
John Wick, yeah.
Yeah. But very much a low budget John Wick. Look, again, sometimes you watch movies because, hey, there's an action movie. Let's watch it. Okay. And the action's fairly decent in this movie. The work has been put in, and I appreciated that. And so, again, want to see an action movie? Sure, here's the one. It's definitely if it were 30 years ago and I'm hanging out with my friends and we want to rent something, this is a movie we would rent.
Well, I wasn't intrigued by the trailer, so I appreciate you saw it. But what do you give on a scale of 1 to 10?
I give it a 7. The story, it could have been edited faster. We didn't need to. Again, the trailer gives it all away. That first half of the movie. So literally during that first half, as scenes started coming up, it was like, okay, I can refill my drink and go to the bathroom because I'm safe. And I was. So I missed 2 minutes of this movie.
All right. So a mild recommend from you. I'm going to skip it. It's something I would see on streaming, but there you go. Let's go to comments here.
All right. From Thomas Pickett for 2, All in the Family, but Black. I believe there was one. I believe they made one. Thomas Pickett for 2. Maybe the last role where Dave Bautista has muscle. Yeah. Davina Duckworth. So John Wick 5. Well, definitely not as good. Chad Coltrane, of course, but because doctors always call a minute before midnight. Well, he screwed up.
It's so cliche. When you told me that, it's so cliche.
Yeah, but again, it was in the trailer. Bill S. Preston Esquire, 30 minutes plus is a long setup. How long is the whole movie? I think it's at the 90-minute mark. Ron Henriquez. This film was fun, stylish, actioner. But what surprised me is that once again, Batista proves he is underrated when it comes to dramatic moments. He has definitely gotten better. I've seen his early movies, and you could not say that about that. Like James Bond, Ip Man 3. Yeah.
All right. Let's pivot to another film. I'm going to tell you about the 4:30 movie.
Vice President Harris,
Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. It's another lie.
Let's talk about the 4:30 movie. It's the new film directed by Kevin Smith. Is it part of the View Askewniverse? If you know what the View Askewniverse is, that's all Kevin Smith's films all kind of connect in some way. This film may connect. It's set in 1986. It's the story of a group of young friends. They're very close. And Brian David has a crush on Melody Barnegat. Really wants to get with her, and he almost had a chance. They were in the pool together. She was in a swimsuit, and she said, "You can touch him. You can touch him." And Brian hesitated, but he's not going to let that stop him. He's asking her to go see a movie that starts at 4:30, and it's all about the rush to get to see that film at 4:30. He goes with his buddies to see a movie before that, which is loosely a movie that they do these fake movie trailers, and they end up seeing this movie that's basically a ripoff of Flash Gordon, and it's hysterical. So there's fake movies within the movie. And everything is out to stop him, including the unscrupulous manager of the theater, Mike, played by Ken Jeong, who's he's over the top as usual. Justin Long plays a character named Stank in line at the refreshment stand. And this is just a fun film that is a slice of life in the 80s about movie obsessed teens, movie obsessed and sex obsessed. I'll say this, 90 minutes short. It's not as raunchy as Kevin's previous work. And in a way, it's kind of a soft prequel to Clerks. I don't want to say, but watch the whole film. You kind of think like, oh, this is like a prequel to Clerks. and it's very much reminded me of that era. They talk about movies like Rocky IV, and they're just, it's when you get together with people who love movies, these are organic conversations that everyone has. Austin Zajur plays Brian David. He's very good. And Sienna Agudong plays Melody. Really good young actors. I mean, they have chemistry. They are likable. Austin is really a standout in this. I think you're going to see him pop up in other movies. It's a Kevin Smith movie where he really lets the characters kind of take center stage. And I don't think he's in the movie, Kevin. No cameo by him. I didn't notice it. But it's if you like Kevin's movies and you like movies where characters talk about film, this is that. It's Know My Old Ass. You know, you're not going to be weeping at the end, but it's a very solid, fun, slice of life, coming of age teen movie in a specific era, 1986. And it's all centered. The whole thing, most of the movie takes place once they get to the movie theater. It's all at the movie theater. You know, sneaking into the movie theater through the back, annoying ushers. It's all about the day in the life of a theater and one goal: to get with Melody. That's all Brian wants, is to get with the cute girl who he wants a second chance with. So I really enjoyed it. I laughed. It's not going to be I know not everybody is into Kevin Smith. It's not preachy. It's not, it's not like I say, it's almost like it is rated R, but I got to say it's pretty light for Kevin. Like, it may be rated R, but there's not it's not as over the top as his other films.
It sounds like Kevin Smith without edge.
Yeah, but no, it has edge. It's just not as raunchy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the other thing is, it feels like Kevin Smith is going back to old Kevin Smith, and the question is he too old to do old Kevin Smith?
This is really, you could tell he put heart in this. Yeah. I mean, Kevin Smith, he wears his heart on his sleeve, especially after he survived the heart attack, changed his health diet and everything. Like, I relate to that. Like, he's a softie. So this movie is Kevin as a softie. This is it's probably based, I don't know for a fact, I'm guessing it's based on a real memory of a girl he liked. Mm-hmm. It has that kind of realism, and I love the movie, and parts of it are over the top and kind of dumb. I like that. It's fine. Like, look, I'm not embarrassed. I like Kevin Smith movies, and this is just light. It's Kevin Smith light, but it has heart. So that I really
that's what I was going to ask, is where does this fit in the pantheon of Kevin Smith movies? And it seems like maybe it's kind of like if Kevin Smith did a short film, and or if this was his first movie, basically.
Well, it is sort of a soft prequel to Clerks in a way, because it's about that era, right? That mid-'80s movie obsessed teen who has the hots for a young girl, and the cast really makes it. I mean, there's ridiculous things that happen. Like Ken Jeong as the movie theater manager, he owns a movie car. It's the dumbest car. He has like a projector mounted on the hood.
Yeah.
Because he's into movies. So he made a movie car, and it looks like a cheap ass Batmobile. It's so dumb. So there are things in this movie that are ridiculous and dumb, but I give it a pass.
I guess I feel the same way about this that you feel about the Killer's Game. I'd probably wait to watch it on streaming as opposed to, force my way into, get myself to go to the movie theater and see it.
Well, it was only playing at one theater, so we went to see it. I'm sure it'll be on VOD and streaming shortly, but soon, soft recommend from me, a hard recommend if you're a Kevin Smith fan. I give it a 7.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, he plays a character called Quiet Robert.
Does Get
No,
out
he
of here.
does.
I didn't notice him. I thought, well,
I don't
where's
see
this
him in the
cameo?
credits. Yeah.
Yeah. But and the movie trailers for the fake movies are so funny. There's one about a nun that's a nun by day and a whore by night, played by his daughter Harley. His daughter Harley, by the way, who was at the screening we were at.
Oh, no kidding.
She was there with some people from the film. So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It's it's not woke or preachy or whatever, just a solid coming of age movie, obsessed teen movie. So fun. Even though it's R-rated, it didn't feel R-rated for a Kevin Smith film. So let's go to comments here.
I will probably get to it at one point. Okay, here we go. Jay Nemo for $4.99. I used to be a massive Kevin Smith fan, but he really lost me in the last few years. Glad to see he sobered up and is getting back on track. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like maybe being as public as he was not a good thing, and he's realizing that. And just go back to what he's good at. Nerd Far Away. It kind of reminds me of Detroit Rock City. Still sounds fun though.
Yes, it's in that vein. A little ridiculous, but it's a fun slice of life. You will enjoy it.
All right, BMO better. I remember when I was excited to see a Kevin Smith film. Yeah.
That's okay.
Albert, not a retro for $2 Canadian. Chad McQueen of the Karate Kid died.
Must be new news.
Yes, rest in peace. Uncle Remus, this film was filmed at Kevin Smith's Smod Castle Theater in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey.
Yeah, they point that out in the film. So that's cool.
Snydick for 501. Chris, just wanted to say thank you for replying to my ex DMs. You guys are making great content. If you ever need to help me with something, let me know.
Well, thanks. I try to reply to as many as I can. I don't always. So this isn't an invitation to do that. So, but thank you for that. Thank you. Thanks for the 501. And yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Let's pivot. Alan, you saw a movie that I did not called Wineville.
Yes.
Can we talk about Wineville?
Let's talk about Wineville.
Vice President Harris,
Excuse me, I
thank
have
you.
to respond. Another lie. It's another lie.
I'm always truthful. I don't know why you would say that. Okay, so Wineville is another indie horror film, written and produced and starring Brandy Roderick. Some of you may know who she is, but she plays a mother who and her son. She has a son, and she has to go back home because her father died. Her father owned a vineyard out in the middle of California. And he died, never left a will. So everything he had now goes to Tess, her character. But Tess doesn't want to go back because he was very abusive growing up. Did horrendous things to him, which is revealed throughout the film. And so she finally goes back and she meets her aunt, who they lived with, and the handyman Joe. And while she's back, the police come by, sheriff comes by and says, people have gone missing lately. In fact, a woman at the beginning of the movie who helped Joe, whose car was broken down, took him home. They started making out, and now she's missing. What could be happening there? So all Tess wants to do now is sell the vineyard and get the money and leave. Problem is Margaret's been living there all her life and doesn't want her to do that. And so she connives her way into figuring out how to get her to not sell the property. As Tess is there, there's certain remembrances, little reminders of the abuse she experienced. Her father was physically abusive to her and her mother. And at one point she saw her mother had killed herself, and she's the one who discovered the body out in the barn. And so as people start winding up missing, the police come in and they start having to investigate it. And let's just say that maybe someone involved in this story is the one doing all the killing. Can Tess find out who it is, and can she survive? And also, who is coming after her? And so this is very much one of those, horror films where, child comes back haunted by her past. And throughout this entire film, we slowly see what happened to her. And I'll say this about this movie. I like this movie. It's a nice low-budget indie movie. Brandy Roderick put a lot of her time and money into it. Very much an attempt to become, to kind of position herself as a scream queen. And where the story succeeds is in just this revelation of her past. One thing I like about movies is, I like movies that aren't predictable, where I'm not figuring out what's happening next. I'll say this movie is somewhat predictable, but what I also like about movies are movies that set up this idea of, oh, we can't go there because it's not right, or because it's ethically and morally wrong to go in this direction from a Hollywood story standpoint. This movie goes in those directions. There are setups where it's like, no, you can't do that. And then it does it. I don't want to reveal too much about what happens, but this movie just gets dark and dark and dark and goes down turns you don't want it to go down, but it goes down those turns. And I really like this movie. Nice indie budget. You get it on VOD, and just a good night for just a weekend night of scares. And so, yeah, recommended. I gave it a 7.5.
Great. All right.
And Brandy Roderick. Come on, Brandy Roderick.
All right. I will watch it. Let's go to comments here.
All right. Albert Not a Retro for 5 Canadian. Brandy Roderick, Playboy's Miss April 2000 and 2001's Playboy Playmate of the Year. She was also on Baywatch Hawaii with Jason Momoa. I knew that. Okay. Let's see, from Davina Duckworth. So no wine ants. Actually, Spidey Sensei 72. Is that someone named Texas Battle on the poster? There is, I think, on the poster there. His name is on the poster. He plays the sheriff, but that's Brandy and her son. And I believe her son is played by her actual son. Let's see. All right. Now my mouse is slowing down. Here. Chad Cochran. The plot will thicken. Yes. It will get... Okay. And then let's see. Davina Duckworth. Alan did a lot of research for this movie. Oh, no. I knew these facts beforehand. And let's see. Here we go. Rochefello Plaza. Minecraft Momoa should be a swimsuit lifeguard. Yeah, wasn't he? I think that's what we were saying, or that last comment. I did not see Baywatch Hawaii, so I don't know. And yes, not looking forward to the Minecraft movie. The Nerd Far Away. I think I'll be sticking to the lighter, funnier stuff we've been talking to today. My heart's a bit tired. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? Chris quietly walked away, so as you know. Mike MC1. I liked Am I a Racist a lot too, but he inserted himself too much into the DEI race grifters presentation. He should have left them to talk more and let them spew more nonsense to expose their stupidity. I will let you know, we reviewed a movie about a year ago called Deconstructing Karen. And that movie basically is the dinner. It is the race to the dinner, and they filmed it, and I reviewed it, and it is as bad as what you saw in My Race is only a taste to how horrible what they do in it is.
Yeah, sorry. Beyond Fest tickets went on sale at 10 a.m. I went in and I only got 2 movies just now. I'm bummed. There was a screening of Dune with Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh.
And I didn't get tickets. It's okay.
I'm
a little bummed, but that's all right.
I guess that
It
was a
happened.
great reason. I guess that was a great reason to step away from.
I stepped away just for a bit. So just for a bit. So there you go. All right,
I'm
let's
also checking. We have not received Agatha All Along screeners yet.
Yeah, we may or may not review it next week.
Yeah.
We'll see. Wednesday. I mean, maybe we'll push the show. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll see. Monday for sure. We're doing verses with
she doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run.
Let's talk about a French film that I saw recently called Meanwhile on Earth. It is directed by Jeremy Clapin. It is the story of Elsa, who is mourning the loss of her brother, who is an astronaut. There is a statue erected in his name, and he is visited by beings from another world that tell her if she brings them humans in tribute, basically coercing people to come to a forest where something may be done to them, something evil, they will allow her to get her brother back. So it's an odd deal she makes with these aliens that if she brings them people that they do things with, she will get to see her brother. So it's about this, how she deals with the guilt of, do I do this or not? I love my brother. I want to see him, but I have to give these people up. I'll just say this. It's also sprinkled with animation. Apparently the director, Jeremy Clapin, has made animated movies. So some of the film is shown in 2D animation, very stylistic. I'll just say this. This movie is very French in the sense that it's science fiction, but not filled with lots of special effects. You're told how things will work. It's very surreal in its the way it portrays the fantastical elements of the movie, and just for me does not work. I think the lead actress is very good in the film, Megan Northam as Elsa, but this fits in a category that you might call French bullshit. It really does feel like it's so like this is how the French do sci-fi, which is why you don't hear a lot of like great French sci-fi. Oh, I'll defend La Planète Sauvage, Fantastic Planet. I think is great. This, and it's a mini review. This movie is short, 90 minutes. But it's really about the young woman's guilt of, I have to find these people, get these people, trick them to go to this part of the forest where the aliens will do things. But she picks up a hitchhiker at one point, and you can see the guilt. I don't want to do it. I don't want this guy to get taken away. She's running out of options because there's a time element. She has to get all these people by a certain time. Did not love this film. It was ultimately boring in the end. And I felt like you didn't really see the connection she had to her brother to feel the loss. So I don't know, maybe a 5 out of 10 for me, but really was hoping, because I love low budget sci-fi. Love it. And this just does not deliver for me. So I do not recommend it. It's a non-recommend from me. Even with, because I like something that's told in a weird way. Low budget sci-fi mixed with animation did not work at all. So it's a pass. Can't recommend it. There you are.
All right.
Let's get some comments here.
All right. Jay Nemo for $4.99. Chris, you should check out Michael Malice's interview with Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, I have not seen that. I do subscribe to Michael Malice, his YouTube.
All right. Solomon Thornton, French film, I'm in.
Well, I will say this. There are people who love French films that probably will be all over this.
Mhm.
It didn't work for me. And I do love French films. Amelie is in my one of top favorite films of all time. Amelie. And they did a recent release of it this year. They re-released the movie. So you okay?
Yeah. Hold on.
You okay, Alan? Okay, good. But up to you. Your mileage may vary on this film. Didn't work for me. There you go.
4D Viking, a French astronaut, too unbelievable.
Yeah.
ADL's 24. So this is cut from Claire Denis' Cloth of French sci-fi.
Maybe. I mean, there is good. I mean, look, there's good French fantasy. Just sci-fi. This is solo budget. Didn't work for me.
Let's see. From Goober, Le Poupou.
Yeah.
All right. Nerd Far Away. French and BS seem to go well together. And Davina Duckworth, did they ask probing questions?
Yes. Not really. But yeah.
So they didn't find it boring in the end at all. John Odom, People of France, a good-looking, depressed guy smoking a cigarette is not a movie.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of French films like that. So,
that's one thing I noticed about foreign films. They like to smoke.
They do like to smoke. Hey, let's get to our before we get to our final film for today. I want to remind people we are doing a sale at shop.filmthreat.com. Go there now. This is a flash sale only this weekend. Only this weekend until Monday. We have our new designs that just launched. We've got new shirts. New, look at this, inspired by Warriors and Krull. Designs, inspired Halloween themed designs. I'm wearing the Film Threat the 13th shirt on Friday the 13th. Plus glasses, pint glasses that Film Threat on them. They are awesome. Go get them at shop.filmthreat.com. Use the offer code FTFlash15 this weekend only. So there you go. Alan, you going to pick something up?
I will.
Well, there you go.
Not sure which one. The Kroll one looks pretty good.
I got the Crow one. I'll be wearing it next week. All right. Our last movie today is a film called Subservience. Subservience is a low budget sci-fi starring Megan Fox as Alice. Alice is an android, a helper with the family. We just recently reviewed the movie Afraid AI with John Cho. This is like that, except that the AI played by Megan Fox, Alice, is an actual helper robot with the family. Nick's wife, Maggie, is in the hospital. She's having an operation on her heart. Alice joins the family with a young daughter played by Matilda Firth, and Alice is helping out. And Alice is very attractive, wears short skirts. I mean, Alice is Megan Fox. You have an android of Megan Fox, and Nick is taken with Alice, who attends to certain needs. So while Maggie is in the hospital getting her heart taken care of, Nick gets busy with Alice, who helps with Nick's stress. And it definitely goes down the road of erotic thriller. There's a shower scene, there's nudity, there's sex, and the movie delivers on that. But it devolves into an almost Terminator 2, a T2 type of like dumb action, low budget thriller. So the erotic thriller aspect of it really worked. When it gets into like T2, where Alice and other robots are like taking over, it spirals into ridiculous. I'd say a 5 out of 10 for me. I give it kudos for the erotic aspect of it, but in the end, really kind of It's definitely cheesy exploitation. Alan, this I was thinking about you when I watched this.
Oh, well,
I
thanks.
thought about you. This is similar. Your wife was recently in the hospital.
I don't like where this conversation is going, but yeah.
If you had a robot like Megan Fox that helped around the house,
Yeah.
I could see you being Nick in this movie. What do you think?
And I can hear my wife say the infamous line from this movie, "But you put your dick in her."
Oh no.
No,
All
actually, she said you put your dick in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, my wife would say that.
Look, this movie teases ideas and then they go all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of sex and then ridiculous, like low budge T2 like type thing at the end, fighting Alice. What'd you think?
Look, okay, so the sexuality always gets a bonus point, so I gave it a 6 out of
okay.
Yeah, you know, it's what has happened is we have seen an evolution in film. We have evolved the au pair horror genre and made it the robot servant horror genre now, because it's essentially the same idea. You know, this robot comes in and ingratiates herself to the family, and now it connives its way to be a part of that family no matter what.
Yeah,
and that's what this movie is. We've seen the plot before, but Megan Fox is in it, so bonus. Yeah, there's she gets down to it. Another bonus. You know, there's there's just some creepy scenes involving the wife and the husband. The acting's semi decent, I guess, except for the lead actor. And look, I had fun. This is, you know, look, I subscribe to Full Moon Features. I've been thinking about subscribing to Troma. This just kind of fits in all that.
Yeah,
you know, it's just a silly, cheesy, low budget thriller, and there are thrills in it, and you know, there's a lot for everybody, but it'll never win Oscars.
Yes, it's not going to win Oscars, but look, I had fun.
Mm-hmm.
I had more fun than Meanwhile on Earth. So Meanwhile on Earth was not fun. It was boring. Mm-hmm. This was at least fun. Yeah. I mean, it was dumb, but it was fun. And yes, I see someone says, why is a robot taking a shower? The robot joined in the shower
because he was tense. He was feeling anxiety and tension.
He was feeling anxiety, and Alice the robot, played by Megan Fox, was just trying
She was attuned. She got the biometrics, understood that he was tense, and decided to relieve the tension.
Exactly. So, you know, look, for this movie knows what it is. It's exploitation. It's robot. Mm-hmm. It's robot sex. Let's go.
Yeah. So, and the bar is very low. And you said it, it's fun. The bar is low. And if you can at least get to level fun, I'm in.
Yeah. So it was fine for me. I like exploitation movies, but yeah, it's you know, it's dumb. And I will say I did enjoy it, even though it gets a low rating. I enjoyed it and will recommend it if you like dumb exploitation.
Yeah.
If you that, you're in.
I'm just saying, if I enjoy something, even if it's bad, it's going to get at least a 6 minimum from me.
Let's go to your comments here.
Jane Nemo, 3 thumbs up from both Chris and Alan.
It was. That's no thumb.
Oliver Lavery Farag, sexy Terminator, I'm in. There you go.
Oh my. Yes. Yeah, it was. That's what it turns into by the end.
I'm in. He's in. Everyone's in. Jay Nemo, it's the role Megan Fox was born for.
She goes all the way.
Yep.
She goes all the way.
Yeah, in terms of erotica, but okay. ADL's24. I'm just saying, a little disappointed we didn't get as much as I hoped we got. ADL's24. Don't turn her on. Is that the challenge? That's
the challenge. Don't turn her on. And there you go. So, Alan, another show in the books. We reviewed. Oh my God, is it a record? Is that the most movies we've reviewed on a stream?
I feel like this is starting to become our average number of movies.
Yeah. But you know, we want to bring you, as you know, here's all the movies that are VOD the major films. We do our best, to give you a variety, and, the major release, of course, we'll do the major release, but we want to give you, there's other choices and tell you what's out there. But there's good films this weekend. Speak No Evil, recommend. Am I Racist? Recommend. Subservience, VOD that. You'll enjoy it. Recommend. So,
we liked everything but the French movie.
Yeah, the French movie gets a thumbs down for sure. But there's good things out there depending on your taste and what you'd like to see. So there you go. Final super chat that came in hot.
Yes, Albert, not a retro for 5. Megan Fox isn't hot. I don't like her as an actress or a person.
You haven't seen all of Megan Fox lately. I think she looks amazing.
Yes.
I'll forgive. I ignore celebrities' sort of off-screen idiot behavior. I ignore it. And I judge the film based on the film. There are some actors, maybe it's too hard, but to separate them, but I try to separate them and, just judge the film as it is. So there you go. Want to thank our mod, Lord Thoth, Latino Slant. Hey, Paulie, shout out to you. Thank you to Atomic Lori and Glenuccio, especially thanks to Glenuccio for all the clips.
The values I bring to the importance of home ownership, knowing not everybody got handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times, is a value that I bring to my work.
Exactly.
I know. I'm on 40 billion. Could buy a nice house with that.
All right. We'll see you Monday. We're talking Am I Racist? We're talking Rings of Power. It's going to be a great show on Monday for Versus.
And who knows? We may even talk about the Acolyte on Monday.
We're not going to talk. We are not talking the Acolyte. We're not talking that. Alan, what are you doing this weekend?
I have a show tomorrow night in San Diego at the National Comedy Theater, 7:30. Be there.
And I am going to movies this weekend. I'm seeing a lot of movies this weekend to prep for next week. I'm seeing The Substance. I'm seeing Wild Robot. A lot of things I'm seeing. So there you go. Alan?
Yeah, let's get out of here.